There's been a lot of change in the most recent election cycles, especially here in New Hampshire. We've bounced around quite a bit. So the same question for both of you. What, in your mind, is New Hampshire's political identity right now? Are we a red state? Are we blue? Are we purple? What is our political identity right now?
Well, I know half the crowd wants me to say pink, but that was a good joke. I know some of you were at the bar. I know some of you were at the bar. Now, come on. Look at no matter whether it becomes, as Andy Smith projects, in 10 to 15 years, a solid blue state. One would consider Rhode Island or Vermont or Maine, or to an extent Massachusetts, a blue state as well, or Connecticut. There's Republican governors in Vermont, in Rhode Island and Connecticut, Republican U.S. senators in Massachusetts and in Maine, both of them, and on and on. Now, there might obviously not any Republican members of Congress at this point. But no matter where we are, I don't think we're ever going to go back to the one-party rule where any Republican signing up in June could presume that they were going to win. Now, that wasn't too many years ago where they were able to do that. If nothing else, this state now, everyone is going to be held accountable. Every candidate running for office. And if you look at the demographics of either the legislative seats or the state Senate seats or congressional or whatnot, that you're able to see that that any one of these seats with the right candidate, the right message, the right year, could potentially go one way or another. This is a very independent state now. I don't think it's a red state or a blue state. I think it's a state where people want to be able to have choices. And I think that this is good for the state of New Hampshire, that all the action isn't just in the Republican primary, though there seems to be a lot of action going on in the Republican primary now, that actually voting in November is going to have a meaning instead of just going in and rubber stamping. There was a significant difference. I was looking at the numbers the other day of when Governor Sununu was running for the first time in 1982, of where we were as a state politically. The Republican Party, and because I was wondering, why is he always, just seem to be whipping up the base and not really, I think back in 1980, 1982, that's what you could do. There was upwards to 46, 47% of the electorate were registered Republicans. But now that the Republican Party is down at 29%, you need to have more than just Republicans, and you need to reach out, and I think that's a good thing. That neither party can just get elected on its own by just having its base support, because that's going to make sure that we have accountable elected officials at every level. So I think it's, I guess the term is purple state now, and I think it probably will be for a number of years, and I welcome that. I think that's a good thing.
Chairman Sununu?
Yeah, I think what this state is going to be depends on two realities that are going to occur over the next year or two or three. One is the Democratic Party is going to look at itself, and the traditional New Hampshire Democratic Party is going to say, is the Democratic Party, we have the leadership in our Democratic Party today representative of the Democratic Party I remember, from Crowley, who ran against Mel Thompson, Governor King, Tom McIntyre, Norm DeMoore, Syl Dupuis. These are fiscally conservative Democrats that were committed to sound fiscal management. And you don't see that in this Democratic Party. And I think the Democrats that are out there as voters are going to have to take a good hard look and decide whether they want to stay with the party. And on the other group that has to make a decision is the group that's here tonight, the business community of this state, who, in my opinion, for the last decade have said there's no difference and have gone along and voted for a nice personality instead of a real policy. And if you continue to do that, then the state will be a purple state. But if you wake up in the morning and say, I don't like the LLC tax, and I don't like somebody trying to tell me it's closing a loophole, and I don't like the idea that they're trying to double tax business and jobs in this state by taking the BET deduction away and trying to tax me both for BPT and BET. And when you look at the campground tax and the increase of the room and meals tax and every one of those other taxes, the taxes on your semis, the taxes on increasing your corporate cars and all of that, and take a look at how the climate has changed, if you stay benign and non-committed to good policies, the state will probably become a purple state. But if you wake up and recognize there is a difference in policies, then the state, in my opinion, will go back to being a red state.